Welcome back, and it's now day 3 of not smoking. I want to start by saying that yesterday I was unable to vlog at all. Yesterday was the second day of not smoking, and quite frankly it was probably the worst so far. Today hasn't been so bad, in fact it was nothing compared to yesterday. Because I was unable to vlog, I just want to take you through some of the experiences that I had. The biggest thing probably being temperature change. So every 10 minutes my temperature was dropping so low that I would be shivering, I was cold, I was wrapped up in a blanket, and then 10 minutes later I was so hot I was sweating. This pointed out to me that there is a lot of physical withdrawal from weed, and I think I've experienced the worst of it now. But I was getting bellyache to a day. My moods were very rash. My moods were quite erratic again. I didn't have a bong again. This is now my 3rd day without a bong. One thing I will say is that I was unable to quit cold turkey. This doesn't mean that I've gone back to weed, because I haven't. But subsequently I've been having half a cigarette. I've been having about 3 a day, and this was only today and yesterday. I don't see this as failing at all. Yes, the plan was to go cold turkey, but I don't think that that's quite possible. I don't think I can manage it. But you know, it's still progression. It's still progression in itself. I don't think I'm going to be dependent on weed anymore. I mean, I've craved it a lot. I've craved it a lot. And I'd do anything for a bong. But you know what? I don't want to have a bong and then end up choking. I don't want to have that nothingness again. I don't want to feel that boredom again. It's just not worth it. So another thing that I found as well, and also I think a lot of you can refer to this, is that the people that I've been smoking weed with most recently in my life haven't really taken that much notice in the fact that I'm quitting. I wasn't really expecting anything different, but you know, it hit home a little bit. You can't expect those people to come forward with you if you're changing your life. So basically, you know, I was kind of hoping for the people that I was smoking with to realise that I was quitting weed and, you know, give me a bit of support, but they weren't. And I think instead of dwelling on that, instead of saying, hey, my friends don't care, my friends have used me, they only came over here because I had a bong and I was a place to smoke, which in itself is true, but I'm not going to remember them for that. I'm just going to say thank you for the memories, because without their memories I wouldn't be where I am now. More often than not, one of the most worst habits I had as a smoker was doing nothing. I often found that after I'd got to a certain point of being stoned, I'd end up sitting in this chair exactly where I am now and zoning out, and I'd realise about half an hour later that I've just been sat doing nothing. One of the things I found not smoking is that I'm actually still doing this, not half as much, and I think it is only because it was part of the habit, but I am still sitting here zoning out. But you know, the habit's one thing to kick, but the rituals that went with it, they're going to take a little bit longer to go, I think. When I'm taking my dog out for a walk, when I'm walking up and down the stairs, when I go out, I'm not out of breath, and it's lovely. And you know, for the first night, I actually lay down in my bed last night and I could smell the fragrance that I'd smelt on my bed, as opposed to the smell of bong. And let's not lie, that's not pretty. So let's say you're a smoker and you get an ashtray, just spray a little bit of water in that and smell that. That's what it smelled like. That's what my room smelled like, okay? Not nice. And quite frankly, I'm so glad it's gone now. I mean, all I can smell now is the fresh breeze from outside and the air. I can't tell you how brilliant that is. And another thing, this week I've already saved £40 in 4 days. And to me that's a lot of money, because I mean, I don't have a lot of money anyway. Okay, and something else I wanted to cover quickly. I've been getting a few questions asking me what actually is EUPD. Okay, it stands for Emotionally Unstable Personality Disorder. It doesn't mean that I've got a personality disorder, it doesn't mean that I've got a split personality, it doesn't mean that I'm a psychopath. Okay, for example, let's say something makes you really angry, and you go off and you dwell about that thing, and slowly the anger comes on, and you get more angry and angry about it, and you know, you may burst, you may explode, you may be able to cope with it. But for me, I get the emotion before the thing that's actually happened. So what I mean is, 1 second I can be feeling fine, and then without any provoking at all like that, I can just change and I'll be down. or I'll be angry, or, you know, things like this. And there's no slow transition between happiness and sadness. There's no transition between sadness and anger, any emotion. It is just a quick change. And for me, the weed did help with that. It made me calmer, and, you know, again, it suppressed everything, so I didn't care, I wasn't thinking about it, it wasn't my problem because I had weed. But now obviously I don't have the weed, I'm starting to realise those transactions are getting a little bit sharper again. But now that I'm finally fighting my addiction to weed, I'm hoping that eventually, because I am now 21, I will be able to cope with my own problems. And I'm going to seek some help with that. I'm thinking about going therapy again, or maybe getting some counselling. Now this isn't to help me quit the weed, this is just to help me with the problems that the weed has been avoiding for me and I haven't had to face before. So you never know, that could be a good thing. And another thing I want to make clear to those of you who are thinking about stopping weed and have had an issue with it like I have, you do get physical withdrawal symptoms and it hurts. You get stomach ache, or I got stomach ache, my lungs hurt, my head hurt, I had a headache, my chest hurted yesterday. Yeah, it's horrible, but I wouldn't go as far as to say it's unbearable, because obviously I've gone through it and I'm still here on the 3rd day, which is absolutely fantastic. Okay, so I guess that's really all I have to say for today. If any of you are watching my vlogs and have any questions or anything that you'd like me to cover about how I'm feeling or where I am now or what my plans are, then please feel free to message me and I will do my absolute best to answer them. And I'll see you in my next vlog.